Let's kick off our list of terrible parents with the burying beetle. You probably know that these little insects are known for their fascination with animal corpses. Also, their attitude toward their offspring can even seem a little callous. Of course, they're beetles. Basically, the burying beetle lays its eggs on an animal corpse, and when the larvae hatch, they begin to feed on the decomposing flesh. It's all good, right? The problem is that the larvae's parents leave them to be eaten and don't care for them after they hatch. The larvae remain in the rotting flesh, and if they're unlucky, they may fall prey to other insects, or even fall victim to disease. The parents, on the other hand, continue their breeding cycle, paying no attention to the fate of their young. It might seem strange, but this is actually part of their evolution. Cuckoos are some of the most infamous bad mothers in the animal kingdom. These birds are so stressed out by parenting that they abandon their kids before they're even born. When she's ready to lay an egg, a female cuckoo will swoop into the unattended nest of a smaller species. She'll then swallow one of the eggs that's been laid there and lay one of her own in its place. This behavior is known as brood parasitism, and it's one seriously sneaky tactic. By leaving her own egg in another bird's nest, Mama Cuckoo shifts the responsibility of raising her young to another unsuspecting mother and unburdens herself in the process, freeing herself up to go and live life as a sexy single bird again. Unfortunately for her victims, the cuckoo chick is hardly a welcome addition to any nest. In fact, this imposter chick usually hatches earlier and grows faster than the other bird's real brood, forcing the smaller chicks out of the nest where they will likely die. Sometimes the targeted birds revolt. The parents that inhabit the nest may mob the cuckoo mom to stop her from dropping off her egg, or they might even push the cuckoo eggs out before they hatch or abandon the nest altogether. But more often than not, the cuckoo mom gets away with her evil scheme undetected, leaving her victim with another big, greedy mouth to feed. Nature sure is hardcore sometimes. Quokkas are the ultimate example of the "it's either you or me" concept. Imagine yourself as a baby quokka, just chilling with your quokka mom and her little pouch. Suddenly, danger strikes. A fox is sprinting towards you. You look at mommy, expecting her to run or fight the predator head-on, but she picks you up out of her pouch instead. Chase and throw you towards the imminent threat. Yep, mother quokkas will turn their kids into a hashtag to save themselves if the situation calls for it. By sacrificing her baby, the mom quokka distracts the predator, giving herself a chance to escape. But why would they do that? Well, the simple answer is survival of the fittest. Sometimes that means making tough choices, even if it means throwing your offspring to a hungry predator. Sharks often get a bad reputation as nothing more than psychopathic, bloodthirsty killers, and their parenting habits don't do much to improve on it. In fact, shark moms are notoriously bad at parenting before they even give birth. You see, some sharks have live births with placentas, a bit like mammals, but others have live babies without an organ to feed the developing fetuses. So how do they get their nutrients, I hear you ask? Well, they eat their own siblings, that's how. These sharklets start their lives by waking up inside a tiny, pitch-black cave populated by their brothers and sisters that look just like them. But little do they know this womb is about to become the next Hunger Games arena. There might be as many as 20 eggs in each uterus, and each one will hatch and live peacefully inside their mother until they grow sharp jaws and feel their tiny bellies rumbling. Of the 20 shark babies that hatch, only one from each uterus will survive to be born into the world. This probably explains why adult sharks have such a chip on their shoulder. It's hard to imagine what it would feel like to have 20 sets of frenzied jaws snapping away inside you at once. Storks have been known to throw their chicks out of the nest, causing them to fall out of the tree and sometimes get injured or even killed. I like to call it fly or die because the chicks are essentially being helped to take off and prepare for the independent life they will face in the wild. There's no training, preparation, or anything like that. It's just a straightforward boom, an ejection from the nest if the chick isn't strong enough to handle it. It's fall or flight. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. It's not just a test of their flying ability. It's also an elimination of weak links. Storks want their offspring to have a better chance of surviving in the harsh world of the wild. It might seem a bit harsh, but the storks throw the chicks out of the nest to make sure the next generation is strong, hardy, and ready to take on the world. Tasmanian Devils. Your idea of Tasmanian Devils probably comes from the Looney Tunes cartoon, but these carnivorous marsupials are even more hardcore in real life. For starters, They have the strongest mammalian bite in the world pound for pound. But there's also the matter of how they raise their kids. To prepare them for a life as one of Earth's most fearsome creatures, the first thing they experience when they open their eyes is a Thunderdome-style death match that fewer than 1 in 10 will survive. You see, Mama Tasmanian Devil will give birth to as many as 50 tiny babies, called joeys, at once. But there's one big problem. She only has 4 teats to go around. Unfortunately, the idea of sharing is meaningless to a Tasmanian Devil. The rules are simple. Whoever makes it to Mommy's feeding nozzles first and holds on tightly wins. Only the strongest survive, while the remaining 46 pups starve to death before they even get a fair shot at life. It seems like there's no logical reason why this happens. Instead, nature allows the Tasmanian Devil to give birth to 50 pups, and then lets 92% of them die right off the bat. This is purely for the sake of teaching them that sharing is for losers. It's pretty wild that skinks don't even let their kids hatch. They get deleted from life while still in the egg. It's a pretty dumb reason if you ask me. For example, if a mother skink happens to be surrounded by predators or knows that there are a lot of predators in the area, instead of running away and drawing the predators away from the eggs, the skinks will just eat their own eggs. They kill their offspring before they even get the chance to hatch. It's wild, right? They always make another one and just eat their own children. But seriously, eating their eggs gives the skinks a boost of energy to run away from the predators. There are other factors that may cause this, like scarce resources. Eating their eggs can also serve as a way for skinks to remove potential attractants for predators. But imagine a robber breaking into your house and your parents kill and eat you so they can get away. Harp seals are adorable. Baby harp seals are especially cute. You'll be happy to know that harp seal moms love these fuzzy little pups just as much as you do. They love them for about 12 days. During this period, harp seal moms feed their babies nonstop. They don't even take a break to fill their own bellies. Because pups are born without any blubber, their mother's milk is 50% fat, which allows the 20-pound newborns to pack on 5 pounds a day. But once this intense feeding period stops, so too does the mother-child bonding. After 12 days, the emaciated female harp seal decides it's time to make a swift exit by leaving her baby to fend for themselves. But unlike other species with such abrupt weaning periods, the harp seal pups aren't ready for life on their own. Instead, they're left stranded on the ice for the next month and a half with absolutely no food or protection. During this time, the pups will lose half of their body weight without any resources to replenish it. Finally, when they're about 8 weeks old, they'll be able to swim and are ready to start hunting for their own food. But until that day comes, they must endure a dangerous period of potential starvation, being hunted by predators, or drowning amid the melting ice. All things considered, it's no surprise that at least 30% of all harp seal pups die during their first year of life. I'm putting the finishing touches on part 2 of my video about the worst animal parents. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Best of luck, and see you in the next video.